Oh, wow. Wow.
What's going on, guys? It's KW here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. Bitcoin still sort of consolidating around these levels. We had a phenomenal breakout from this level where Bitcoin had been struggling to get above around $45,000. We got all the way up to $48,200, and currently it does appear like we are consolidating. However, there are still some of those bears out there screaming for 20,000 or lower, saying that this is just a fake out breakout. Well, in today's video, I'm going to tell you right now why the bears are about to lose this battle, or at least they are running out of time. And if they really do want to be bearish on Bitcoin, then they're going to have to do something quite soon, because we actually had a breakthrough last year. In fact, I would call it a record-breaking year for Bitcoin, something that is extremely important to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin adoption, as well as what is going on right now on the network. Because not only do we have hash rate and difficulty hitting the highest levels we've ever seen, but we're also seeing a massive supply shock right now. And we just saw the 19 millionth Bitcoin mined. We know that Satoshi has his. There's estimated to be, at least 3 million potentially even lost, depending on, what your sources are. So guys, it is getting serious. It is getting crunch time. And I want to talk about why we are seeing the 4-year cycle completely shattered, totally broken. You cannot use that anymore to analyze Bitcoin. And something even more incredible, we were talking about having a pretty good summer for Bitcoin. Well, I'm going to show you how we could even go as high as $90,000 as soon as July this year. So you're going to want to stick around for that. Also, of course, if you are trading in the short term, we will go over some of the price action on the very, very low time frame. But if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider it, my friends. And as you guys know, Bitcoin Miami is fast approaching, just 2 days away. If you haven't got your tickets yet, what are you waiting for, guys? If you want 10% off, use the code ZOMBIE. And I forgot to mention that if you are going to the Bitcoin Miami kickoff party, which is actually happening Wednesday night at 9 p.m., they're going to have Diplo there, Base Jackers, and a few others. Well, get this, guys. If you use the code ZOMBIE for these, you actually get 50% off. So these tickets are $200. If you use the code ZOMBIE, you only have to pay $100. So that is a pretty cool deal. We were able to work out with those guys. If you're interested, would love to see you down there, but let's dive in and have a look, because really you want to hear about the charts and the price action and why Bitcoin is freaking awesome, right? So if you just want to look at sort of the bullish case, right now, we noticed that down here, what we had forming was an ascending triangle, right? And I said that this is a bullish pattern. And we also said that Bitcoin is an impatient asset. It usually tends to break out sooner than later. So roughly around, 70% completion, you'll usually have that breakout. Well, we did in fact get that breakout. We went from 44,600 to 48,200. But if you really want to know what the breakout should have been based on this level, essentially you just take the height of the triangle. And if we do put that at the breakout point, that actually suggests that Bitcoin should get up to around $58,000 if this is actually going to play out the way that it traditionally does. Obviously, we have a lot of resistance right here at around $52,200. But like Bitcoin Archive pointed out, we did just have the weekly MACD confirm a bullish crossover. And if you want to know what happens, usually when this happens right here, we had this back in April of 2020. We had this crossover here. Bitcoin's price went from around 8,000 all the way up to 46,000, right? Same thing right here. We had this, higher than 46,000. That was actually the top. That was 64,000. We had a bullish crossover here again. This looks like it was in July, August, right? And same thing happened. And currently, as you guys can see, we are having that again. Now, the other thing that I was talking about is we are looking to have a golden cross on the daily, right? Now, we do need to still get above this 200 daily moving average. Very critical, very important. $48,300 is the level that we absolutely have to get above if we want to go back into a full-on bull run. But nevertheless, you can see that we are about to have this yellow 50 move above this blue 100. This is considered a golden cross, and this is quite bullish. Now, it's a golden cross on the lower time frame, or not the lower time frame, I'm sorry, on the lower moving average, right? 50 over 100 is not as significant as 100 moving over a 200 or something like that, but it is still worth noting that ultimately it appears as if Bitcoin is looking to put in some massive, massive gains. Now, guys, you know how it goes with these price actions. It doesn't mean that tomorrow we're going to go to 70,000, 80,000, but what it does mean is that the entire market is shifting into that bullish mode, right? The same way that we had this consolidation back here, like Plan C points out. He says, I don't know what to tell you guys, but barring a black swan event or some extremely high Bitcoin sustained profit taking, the weekend capitulation sell side is exhausted and has gone through the flush out process over the last year. And you can see the similarities right here between these two charts. And we are in fact entering back into that optimism stage, which usually precedes the massive move. Now, just being realistic here, totally realistic, okay? You could see that there are a lot of levels that we need to pay attention to. The most short-term level to point out is just this simple trend right here. And that's why I actually highlighted this one right here in purple. And the reason that that's so significant is because it acted as support, as support, as support. But then once we had this massive sell-off where Bitcoin fell all the way back down to 33,000, you could see that it then acted as resistance, resistance, resistance. And honestly, if we look right here, even though we did break above it, we are currently sitting on it right now. So we do still need to break out of this zone for the bulls to really go on a tear. But like King Crypto pointed out, the long-term prediction, both for Bitcoin and Ethereum, have formed a running flat correction. He says, I think we can expect a price of $90,000 for Bitcoin and $6,000 for Ethereum. And judging just by these waves right here, you could see that this would happen sometime, potentially, as soon as July, possibly, but more likely around September, right? So between July and September. So essentially he's saying before the end of this year, we could still see that $90,000, $100,000 Bitcoin. And the other thing that we needed to point out is this super guppy over here on the daily. Now, I just want to point, I mean, we can go way back. Actually, yeah, let's go way back. Let's go back to this COVID crash right here, right? And you could see essentially what had happened. Well, the guppy went out of the green into the deep blue, right? And we went into that red band. This was the capitulation that we had right here. And as soon as we switched from red back into gray, neutral, and then we got back into that light blue again, what happened? Well, let's look exactly where that flip took place. So this flip took place right here. And as soon as that happened, Bitcoin actually rallied 20%. Now, out of the red, if you want to go from the red, that was a 36% move. And honestly, considering what happened, for the most part, my friends, we essentially stayed in a giant green bull run. So really, if you want to start from that level, that puts us at about a 650% increase. If we move forward to what had happened back here, when we did have the red flipping into the blue between July of last year into August, we essentially had, starting from the blue, bottom to top, you had a 74% Bitcoin increase. Now, we went back into the deep blue, back into the red. And guys, look at what's happening again. Right here, you see we got the green arrow, we went into the neutral, and we're going back into the blue again. And you can see time and time and time again, whenever that essentially happens, for example, way back here, what did we have? We had turning into the blue and boom, massive 2017 rally. So these are these long-term charts. And you could see that very oftentimes, once we go into the green, we tend to stay in the green for a very long time. Now, we haven't got into the green just yet, but very often the light blue is essentially what leads us into that rally. So I wanted to just point out what Trader Tardigrade had. He has this very interesting TAR Prime model. I don't know if you guys can see this. If I zoom in a bit right here. And essentially, he takes this in 1,307 day chunks, and each one of these lines is up 557%. He says standard deviation band, gray area, plus or minus 19%. Now, this is done with prime numbers and all these other things. So you guys can go look at how he actually figures this out. But it is very interesting to see how it does maintain within these levels right here. So essentially right now, you're having a Bitcoin target of around $370,000 by July of 2024. And currently, right now, we are sitting at the very bottom range of floor 5. And if you look historically, every time we get into this floor range right here, okay, or right here, for example, even during this dip, this signals the best opportunity for Bitcoin accumulation. Now, is anyone actually accumulating Bitcoin at these levels? Well, let's dive in and talk about what is going on, because crypto investors appear to have resumed their Bitcoin accumulation. So according to Glassnode, you can see right here, the outflow of Bitcoin from exchanges in the past 30 days is almost 100,000. So the monthly flow of Bitcoin from large-scale exchanges occurred several times in history previously, very notably on March 12th of 2020. So according to on-chain analytics firm Glassnode, Bitcoin exchange outflow hit a rate of 96.2K Bitcoin per month. Aggregate exchange outflows of this magnitude have only been seen on a handful of occasions. In addition, we have Bitcoin witnessing a significant rise in user growth. So the data from Glassnode showed that Bitcoin user growth showcased a sharp rise versus supply issuance. We are seeing a supply shock. We are seeing not a lot of Bitcoin. We're not seeing a lot of Bitcoin, actually, and we are noticing that these big players are taking Bitcoin off of the exchanges. Now, interestingly enough, like Will Clemente pointed out, 63.15% of Bitcoin supply has not moved in the past 1 year. This is 0.3% shy of all-time high. So now we're seeing long-term hodlers not moving their coins, and some of these long-term hodlers, as well as new market participants, also taking it off of the exchanges. Like actually down here, we actually had the chain reaction responding to this, saying it's noteworthy that the coins that are moving since the all-time high, Bitcoin held in wallets less than a year, have been selling off, while the 1 year and up have accumulated. So what we're seeing was a lot of the newer people in the space, the weak hands, right, freaking out over this price action and selling, and the long-term hodlers accumulating. But if we actually look at what blockchain analytics firm Into the Block says about what has been going on, they say that the long-term Bitcoin holders are gobbling up the top crypto asset to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. In a new report, the market intelligence agency says that during Q1 in 2022, investors who have held the top crypto asset by market cap, Bitcoin, for at least a year, kicked off a massive accumulation spree that has now them holding around 12 million Bitcoin, worth around $551.37 billion. They say long-term investors now hold a record amount of nearly 12 million Bitcoin. So this points to an accumulation phase kicked off after long-term players had been selling during the bull market. Now check this out, guys. They also found that in spite of the overall turbulence of the US markets, Bitcoin actually outperformed traditional equities in Q1 this year, which means it would have been better to be in Bitcoin. In fact, if you bought Bitcoin on January 1st, okay, you're up. In fact, anyone that bought Bitcoin at any time, except for, just the past little small dip we had from 48 to 46, is up this year. Bitcoin recovered most of its quarterly losses, while the S&P 500 and NASDAQ ended Q1 with negative 34% and 7.65% respectively. So they add that Bitcoin outperforming major stock indices could mean that Bitcoin is starting to solidify itself as a safe haven asset. But wait! There's more, my friends. According to the 2022 Global State Crypto Report released on April 4th by the crypto exchange Gemini, 41% of crypto owners around the world say that they have purchased their first cryptocurrency in 2021. So half of the people in crypto right now said that they purchased it in just the past year. Now, we've spoke about the Lindy Effect. We've spoke about Metcalfe's Law, right? We've talked about the fact that usually you see 10% of the growth in the same amount of time that it takes to get to the next 90%. So essentially what we're seeing right here is that almost all of the users in Bitcoin and the crypto space have doubled essentially in just the past year, meaning that Bitcoin's been around for 13 years. It took 12 years to get to a certain level. And then it only took 1 year to virtually double that level right there, which is also why we've seen the price skyrocketing. And you have to consider how many people are still not in the crypto space. There's really no way to know because you don't know who owns what wallet, how many people, but they estimate that it's around 5%, maybe 5% of every single person in the world has dabbled in cryptocurrency. That still leaves the other 95%, considering we have 5% that is in currently estimated right now, and we doubled it in just 1 year, and people still don't think Bitcoin can hit $1 million. Guys, look at what is in front of us right here. The same percentage of participants said that they did not currently own crypto, but were either interested in learning more or plan to acquire digital assets in the next year. And this was actually taken from over 30,000 respondents surveyed in 20 countries. So this was a very worldwide thing. Now, if that's not bullish enough for you, if that is not bullish enough for you, my friends. Also, you know that we've had a lot of ESG issues, a lot of people, ragging essentially on this Bitcoin mining. Well, we have the chip giant Intel launching their second generation Bitcoin mining chip called Intel Block-Scale ASIC, which will offer miners more efficient mining rigs than most models available in the market. The move could help mining firms get on the winning side of the ESG debate that has long roiled the Bitcoin community. So the Intel Block-Scale ASIC is going to play a major role in helping Bitcoin mining companies achieve both sustainability and hash rate scaling objectives in the years, according to Jose Rios, the general manager of Intel's blockchain. So I don't think I highlighted anything else in here. But yeah, I mean, guys, so they're obviously clearly concerned about this. They're trying to work with it. And that's why I said, no, Bitcoin should not switch to proof of stake. Bitcoin switching to proof of stake essentially, just gives the power again to those who hold the most coins, right? Not saying it can't work for some protocols, but let's leave Bitcoin alone. They are making these advancements, and obviously you're seeing a lot of the mining go green. So just to end on some cool news, guys, On the Run, or OTR, which is an Australian convenience store, kind of like a gas station convenience store type thing with international locations, will reportedly allow clients to now start paying for their products in cryptocurrencies. According to coverage by The Australian, OTR will enable customers to pay for fuel, goods, and services in digital currencies in 170 company locations in South Australia. Once the move is finalized in July, OTR will become the largest bricks and mortar retailer in Australia to accept digital currencies as a payment method. So, like I said, guys, getting back to this final thoughts right here. Ultimately, we do still need to break above this resistance, but things are looking quite good. We're seeing a lot of these indicators playing out, showing us very positive situations for Bitcoin. And going back here, ultimately, we do want to break this level right here. As I said, the level that was previously acting as this support, it's an upward sloping trend. It's a spider line, resistance, resistance, resistance. So, but we're right there, guys. We're so close. We're retesting it. This is looking quite bullish. I do believe if we break to the upside, our next target is anywhere between 51,600 and 52,200, depending on which chart you're looking at. But if we do take that breakout from the triangle, looks like a little stick man right here. I don't know what's going on, but that does bring us to about 58,122. So friendly reminder, guys, if you are going to Industry Day or you are going to the conference, use code ZOMBIE, 10% off and 50% off. 50% off, guys. I got you guys at the BTC Miami kickoff party. This is over at the Rare Vibes AV Club. No, actually, it's not at the Rare Vibes. That's actually who's hosting it. That is where it is. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, I don't know. I'm really bad with directions and remembering things. Honestly, seriously, ask my girlfriend. She figures everything out. I literally just don't know what I'm doing half the time. Located at Maps Backlot. There you go. So I do hope to see you guys there. Anyway, that is it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. As you guys can tell, I'm pretty bullish. I really don't care what happens short term. I don't want to see Bitcoin fall below 45,000 for too long. That could be a little bit bearish, but we're not there yet. No reason to talk about it. We're still kind of riding on that level. Okay, there's been a lot of bullish momentum, and you've honestly just been seeing a lot of very positive things for Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space. So that's it for me. That's it for me, guys. That's it for me. I got nothing else for you today. Tomorrow's probably going to be my last real video like this, because then I will be headed over to Miami. I will try to do updates down there. Obviously, they may not be as long. But yeah, I mean, get subscribed if you guys want. I definitely will be, doing some updates. Oh, and make sure you guys follow me over on Twitter. It's at the CryptoZombie. Twitter is the better place to follow me, when I'm sort of traveling or I'm away. It's a lot easier to, text or retweet something than it is to make a full-on video. So thanks again so much. And if you guys are looking to trade this, make sure that you watch these videos popping up right here, right now. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.